Welcome to the Wake.Show. As everybody knows, a show needs an intro. This is that intro. Sorry, I'm a little late. Karaoke was last night downtown at Park and Rec. No, I didn't get wrecked.
Perfect.
Good morning and welcome to the Wake.Show. Now, Thursday mornings are always rough, man. They're always rough because Wednesday nights are my late night downtown St. Pete Park and Rec. How you doing, Sam?
I'm good. How are you?
I am all right. Are the dogs in place? Let's see here. No. Hey, go be cute.
They're
Joey?
on the floor.
I know. They're trying to get in my lap. What are they doing? You're ruining everything. Joe.
Roxy.
Hey, go get it. Go get in your places there. Go be cute so when we go over some of the crappier news of the day, I can put the cameras on you. And I got a good shot over. I mean, I got good lighting there today. That's really popping. Go take your place. Take your places. Good boy. Keep going. Keep going. Come here, Boogs. Come here. Oh, you said you have dogs, right?
Yes.
What are your dogs' names? Or dogs?
I have one dog, and her name is Relish, and she's a dachshund.
She's a what?
She's a dachshund, so a wiener dog.
What's a dachshund?
A wiener dog.
Oh, okay.
That's why her name's Relish, because she looks like a hot dog.
Aw. Do you call her by her name? Wait a second. I believe that's a movie.
I do. I call her Relish.
Do you call her Relish?
I mean, I call her like baby names too, like you would any dog. Like,
right.
But I also call her Relish.
Right, because Roxy, I don't even know if we call her. I think maybe we call her Roxy half the time. Maybe. But it's for some reason Boogs, Boogies. And
you call Joey Jojo.
Joey, Jojo, Joseph. It's funny when my wife calls him by his Christian name, Joseph Michael. She gave him a middle name. Good morning, Danielle. Danny, how are you? Good morning, Tabitha, Sean, Cheryl, Brenda, Rick. How you doing, Rick? This is so. By the way, welcome to the Wake.Show. As you guys know, I did a radio for over almost 25 years, and I've started this show partnered with Bake More Pies, which is a production facility and correct me if I'm wrong, a digital marketing
agency.
There we
full
go.
service.
There we go. Digital marketing agency, full service, so they can do video for you and stuff like that. So they have this capacity, and so a few months ago we ran into each other, started chatting up. They're like, "Man, you need to come down and start up a new show." So we have So here we are. We're at the Wake.Show. I think we put episode 72. Although I've hopped around a little bit, I think the numbers are a little bit off. We're somewhere around episode 72. Saw Johnny Torres last night, by the way, for those of you that missed him.
Really?
And Johnny Torres started the show with me, and there was no way that the show would have got up and running the way it did without Johnny. But he came out. Oh, did I record? Shoot, I didn't record him. He did a few songs, and one of them, I should have recorded this one because he always knocks out of the park the crooner songs, Frank Sinatra and stuff like that. But he pulls out Drake.
Really?
This is Johnny Torres pulls out Drake and does Hotline Bling.
Oh, God.
You know the song I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
I don't even remember how it goes now. Hotline Bling. I don't know. You guys know the song. It was a hit for a minute. But anyway, he came out, and so he's going to come by he's going to come by Good Friday, which is next Friday.
Cool.
He's going to. Is it next Friday or in 2 Fridays?
Anyway, it's next Friday.
Next Friday. So he'll be coming by the studio, stopping by the show. Chris McCarty usually here on Thursdays and Fridays with me. By the way, are we crooked here? Is that there? Oh yeah, that looks like it's straightening it out. Of course. Don't mess with it too much, buddy. It'll just go blurry. You'll ruin everything. Get done the last few days. So Chris McCarty, singer-songwriter, normally here on Thursdays and Fridays, but he is out of town in Hawaii. And I believe I do. Yeah, I'm going to play a video for you guys that he sent me to play on the show. But he'll be back next week as well. We'll get to some of the stuff in the news today. And if you're wondering, like, what am I doing? What are you doing here? We're starting a show. We want to be able to talk about kind of what's going on in the news, the issues of the day, and try not to get too worked up or depressed over it, and realize at the end we have very little control over most of the stuff that's happening in the world. And in the end, you can only control very little of Well, that's the way I see things. I don't know how you guys see things. I guess everybody's different there. It depends on, I think, phases of your life, where you are, because like I have a feeling like the more I don't know. You feel like you have more control in certain aspects of your life, but in the end, I don't know that we do. So as far as the bringing up stuff and then getting into the right wing, left wing, that's up to you guys. You guys are more right wing, left wing than I am. I am more of, it's almost like a pathological centrist, where if you try to go too right wing on me or too left wing on me, I don't give a shit. And I will just automatically start finding arguments to take your legs out from under you, because that's the way I see things. And it starts to annoy me after a while. But I do appreciate your opinions and your insight. And we will, you'll see it in the message section, the comment section, where people will differ. Especially when we start talking about Trump, guns, and stuff like that. But so far on the show, which I really, really appreciate, it has been very cordial. Everybody's kept it very cordial, above board. And at the end, they'll go back and forth, and then somebody will go, all right, well, this is where we will agree to disagree. And I love that. I love that about the people that have been following along. Rick. Let's see. What do you got going on, buddy? Come out to Green Iguana on West Shore tonight. I'll be sitting in with Steve Wick. I'll be playing stuff way out of what you know me for. 9:30 to 1:30. All right. So go check out Animal on the drums. He'll be at Green Iguana West Shore tonight, playing with Steve Wick, starting at 9:30. And if you're on my side of the bay and the Pinellas side of the bay, then come out and join me at Masteries every Thursday night for trivia night, starting at 7 o'clock. But you all right, buddy?
You're all right, Joe?
You sit there hacking up? That's that Yorkie cough. All of a sudden, they just start to... You think they're going to die. Hey, Randy. How you doing, Pete? Thank you, Pete. All right. So, yeah, I got I couldn't even get out of bed today. This show, I really am passionate about starting at 11:11. But for some reason, it is not easy for me to be on time for anything in my life, ever, except that I get paranoid when I'm doing gigs, like weddings and stuff like that. I'm there an hour and a half early setup because that stresses me the F out. And it's because it's somebody else's day. It's the biggest day of their life until they have kids. It's how that goes. It's up there with buying your house and having kids and, getting married. So... Danielle says that her Yorkie Max does the same thing. And I think it is. There's a thing I think called the Yorkie cough or something. All right. I think it is anyway. We'll get to some of the news of the day, but I do have some personal stuff to play for you. Okay, we'll start with a picture of Roxy. Okay, you're like, seriously, Fish? We're getting ready to go through your photos again.
Look at those teeth.
I sent this to Sam this morning.
I know.
I really wanted to hold on to this until I got in here, but I almost texted to you last night because it was so hilarious after my wife.
I love it.
But then all I could picture was you're sitting on the couch with your boyfriend, and all of a sudden you're getting text from me of me sending you pictures of my dogs. I'm like, man, maybe that's not appropriate. I'll just wait till tomorrow morning to send it to her.
I will always accept pictures of someone's dogs. Right. Actually, Haley sent me a picture of her dogs, Mia and Pepper, last night too. So I welcome it.
All right, there you go. So this is Roxy smiling. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, she's so cute. Look at those teeth.
Actually, what she's doing, my wife, you see that thing in the ground there?
Yeah.
It's cod skin. I don't know. It's some skin. It's some fish skin or something like that. And she loves that stuff. All right, so that's one. Now I want to play for you guys. Oh, no, I got to play. I was using that to set up this. Because I tell you how she gets in the car, and it really bothers me. It's like when I pick her up in the morning to bring her in to here, she's trembling, and it crushes my heart. I hate it,
Poor baby.
So yeah, I got this.
She likes whatever's on the floor. If it's your lunch, you should probably get her out of it.
Folks, get out of there. What are you doing? Stay out of my lunch.
Totally see it happening.
That's because my lunch today is ham and cheese.
Oh, so she definitely is about it.
Look at her. She's circling. Whoops. Hey, get out of there, bugs. Bugs. I don't know. We were trying to figure out where that even came from, and we think it's because at some point one of us, we were just being stupid. You know how you're being stupid about this kind of stuff. And we said something like, oh, there she is. Said,
Hello.
Wiggly. I don't know what it was. We were calling her. Oh, Wiggles. Wiggles was another one.
Wiggles.
She was Wiggles, and so at some point she became Wigglita, Boogita, or something like that. And then I think Boogies came out of that, and I don't know. Hey. All right. So by the way, that picture that I just showed you guys is up on our is up on the new Instagram page. If you want to track down at the Wake.Pups, don't spell out dot. The Wake period pups, and follow Roxy and Joey now on Instagram, and my wife and I will do a better job, or good job. I know she'll be on me. She's already been on me about it to make sure that we have stuff up there. But I know that she'll be good about that. Sometimes they call Max Munchkin. Munchkin. All right, so here's the here's poor little Roxy this morning. Just watch her kind of hindquarters there. You'll see her trembling. See the trembling? I hate that.
Oh.
You see Mia and Pepper?
Oh.
See, so that bothers me, you know?
But when she's here, she's like very happy.
I know.
There's toys here. There's other dogs here. It's basically a doggy daycare.
She does. She does have fun. I really do think she has fun when she gets here. But that, that.
Does she not like car rides? Is that what it is?
No. And I don't know. There's another video, and it would take me a minute to get to it. It's back in November, but it's her having a panic attack in the car. So it's not just her trembling. She is hyperventilating. The horrible noises coming out, and she just looks awful. It just breaks my heart.
Oh, she's in her spot.
Thank you, Bugs. It's about time. Screw you, man. Stress me out. Oh. There you go. Get comfortable, Boogies. You get comfortable. Joey, go snuggle with your sister. Go be cute. Go be cute, buddy. All right. So I wanted to show you guys that. So,
cute.
And that's what I'm going. Not every day, but almost every day. I have this battle of should I just leave her at home and not put her through that, because the car ride is depending on traffic, 40 minutes, 35 to 50 minutes, depending on traffic. And I don't know, but I know that she has a good time here. And then it also helps me when I'm here, because if I'm here and I've got a lot of work to do and the dogs are back at home, then that starts to get in my head and I start getting anxiety. So I like that they're here with me so I can get more stuff done.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So now from last night, before we get into some of the, stuff you should know, some of the news of the day, from last night, as you know, I do karaoke every single Wednesday night from 8 until midnight, downtown St. Pete at Park and Rec. I've been playing like some of because people come up and I'll videotape them and I'll use, just throw it on the old web to say, hey, come on out, but it's not necessarily the best songs. And my wife was like, I'm not too sure that you can, she's a lawyer. She's like, I'm not too sure that you can just put these people on the internet like this without their consent. So, with that being said, I'm not going to play songs for you this week or performances this week of people that I thought did really good vocally. And then we listened to it together and go, oh, well, they were having more fun than they were hitting those notes. So instead, I've grabbed two people who are just having a really good time. All right?
All right.
Just having a really good time. And this is Spence and Keegan. Spence and Keegan.
All right. Just two bros singing some karaoke.
They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, they look like fun.
Yeah. Comes down to the crowd.
This is so funny.
All right, that's one of them. And then I believe the second one is also those guys coming back up to do oh, no, it's a different guy. Oh, this was awesome. Here, what the hell? Here we go again. Oh, darn it. I thought I'd fixed the problem. You know what it is? It's because I try to get that shot of you and me in here, I think. I think you're right on that one. It's because I try to get that shot of both of us. Come on, you can do it.
There you go.
There we go. And I think it's tricking. I don't know. I mean, it did so well for so long. I don't know why all of a sudden the last couple of days it started, this. All right. So this guy here, what is he about to sing? What is this guy getting ready to do? What are you getting ready to hear from this guy?
Looks like he's going to sing something hardcore.
Hardcore.
That's what I'm looking for.
Here we go. He's doing some hardcore, Rastafarian stuff.
He's killing it. This looks like a fun place to be. I've never been here before.
It is. It's cool.
Looks fun.
You see, the words even written like the way you're supposed to say them. So there you go.
Funny.
That's just a couple of the videos.
Looks like fun.
It is. Steven there in that group have done a really cool thing with that corner because they've taken over a whole block there, and it's a really cool corner for those of you that are in St. Pete to get down there almost any night of the week. And that is a Park and Rec downtown St. Pete. They also have they own the Avenue too next door. I'm getting all confused now. All right, so which leads me now to substance. And how you doing, Dino? Thank you, Danielle. All right, so this leads me now. I guess yesterday, come to find out. Oh no, we need to. Okay, let me get into this one last thing, and then we should just get into it on this day. Right, let's do on this day because I know I only have a couple more minutes with you, Sam, before you get out of here. But I want to come back to yesterday was National or Down Syndrome Day.
World Down Syndrome Day.
World Down Syndrome Day.
Yes.
And so I want to talk a little bit about that. Also, your thoughts on the R word. Is that something that you've dropped from your vocabulary? Or is it something that, just still rolls off the tongue when you're talking about something silly or stupid and you don't? Because for me, the R word, I've never associated with Down syndrome or people who are mentally handicapped. I'm sorry if I'm using the wrong terminology. But the R word was always, I don't know.
I mean, in the context of this, it's fine to say it so that people know what you're talking about. It's fine.
All right. Because retarded, I don't know. There was never that association. But it still doesn't mean for those people who are caring for people with Down syndrome or anything else, when they hear it, probably, I know because I've read, I can read the comments how they lose their mind when they hear that. So let's come back to that, but do on this day first, okay? Because I want to highlight a post for those of you that are here in the Bay Area, Tampa Bay area, and listen to 102.5 The Bone. Oh, shoot, even, all my friends back in Orlando, you guys remember Drew Garabo from Real Radio, 104.1.
Oh, yeah.
You know Real Radio?
I know, yeah, I know who that is. He follows me on Twitter. Yep.
He follows you on Twitter.
We follow each other on Twitter.
Real Radio, 104.1. Fast traffic. I don't know. I don't even know if they still do that. But anyway, his nephew has Down syndrome, and he is somebody here in the Bay Area who has taken it upon himself to rid the world of the R word. And so we'll come back to his post and talk a little bit about that here in just a couple minutes, but I'm curious your thoughts on that. On this day, I haven't even scanned it yet, so I'm not even sure. So we're going to scan it together, okay?
Stamp Act.
The Stamp Act is imposed on American colonies. Well, that's their headline, so let's read about that. This was 1765. In an effort to raise funds to pay off debts and defend the vast new American territories won from the French in the 7 Years' War, the British government passes the Stamp Act on this day, 1765. The legislation levied a direct tax on materials printed for commercial and legal use in the colonies, from newspapers and pamphlets to playing cards and dice. Though the Stamp Act employed a strategy that was a common fundraising vehicle for England, it stirred a storm of protest in the colonies. So this was the beginning of the end then? Is this what I'm no history buff. But I do like learning stuff along the way, even at an old age. So I guess this was probably what started, the beginning of what would become the American Revolution, Revolutionary War. All right.
There's some cool stuff in there. I looked at it.
What else do you see?
Equal Rights Amendment was passed by Congress in 1972. FDR legalized the sale of beer and wine in 1933. So that's interesting.
All right, let's get to equal rights in 1972, the year I was born. On March 22nd, 1972, the Equal Rights Amendment is passed. First proposed by the National Women's Party in 1923, the Equal Rights Amendment was to provide for the legal equality of the sexes and prohibit discrimination on the basis of sex. More than 4 decades later, the revival of feminism in the late 1960s spurred its introduction into Congress under the leadership.
That's so crazy how recent that is.
Yeah. Let's see. Hawaii was the first state to ratify what would have been the 27th Amendment, followed by some 30 other states within a year. However, during the mid-'70s, a conservative backlash against feminism eroded support for the Equal Rights Amendment, which ultimately failed to achieve ratification by the requisite 38 or 3/4 of the states. So, even in the 70s, we rejected it? And during my lifetime, see, that's the thing, when we're having these various discussions about a lot of these issues, some people will bring up that, let it go. Let it go. That's history. It's in the past. That we're still living in it. I was alive as we were sitting there going, no, women, sorry, you're second-class citizens still. Hey, that's where you belong. You're submissive. Remember, I'm the head of the household. You do whatever I tell you. This is how it works. So because of the rejection of the Equal Rights Amendment, sexual equality, with the notable exception of when it pertains to the right to vote, is not protected by the U.S. Constitution. However, later in the 20th century, the federal government and all the states have passed considerable legislation protecting the legal rights of women. The Equal Rights Amendment is, in its most recently proposed form, reads, equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on account of sex. In 1972. That's amazing to me.
Crazy.
I feel like a lot of these stories should have been 1772, 1872. But yeah, all this stuff happened within a lot of people's lifetimes. The civil rights stuff was a little, I'm 72, that was the 60s. It seems like history to me, but it's not history to a lot of you. You lived it. What else? What else did you see?
FDR legalizes the sale of beer and wine.
Good for you, good for us, FDR.
Good for us.
On this day in 1933, I bet there's a party somewhere. I bet somewhere they celebrate this day every single year. On this day in 1933, FDR signs the Beer and Wine Revenue Act. This law levies a federal tax on all alcoholic beverages to. Oh no, that's not what I was thinking then. I was thinking this was the day that they lifted prohibition.
I thought it was too, actually.
That's the way it looks like, huh?
Well, they say prohibition in there too, but I don't think that is what it is.
All right. With the passage of the 18th Amendment and the Volstead Act in 1919, temperance advocates in the U.S. finally achieved their long-sought-after goal of prohibiting the sale of alcohol or spirits. Together, the new laws prohibited the manufacture, sale, or transportation of liquor and ushered in the era known as Prohibition, defining an alcoholic beverage as anything containing over 0.5% alcohol by volume. Woodrow Wilson had unsuccessfully tried to veto the Volstead Act, which set harsh punishments for violating the 18th Amendment, and endowed the IRS with unprecedented regulatory and enforcement powers. In the end, prohibition proved difficult and expensive to enforce and actually increased illegal trafficking without cutting down on consumption. And one of its first addresses to Congress, as President FDR announced his intention to modify that Volstead Act with the Beer and Wine Revenue Act. All right. And whoa, back. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Just knocking stuff over.
I think that's all I saw, really.
Everything that caught your eye.
Yeah.
On this day in 1894, the first
Stanley Cup. Yep.
First Stanley Cup championship played on this day in 1894. All right, before I click on it, who won it? Who won the very first Stanley Cup?
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to go with somebody in Canada. I'm going to go with Let's see here. I am going to go with Vancouver. How about Vancouver?
I'm going to go with, does Toronto have a team? I'm assuming
we're
they
about
do.
to find out.
Let's go with Toronto.
All right. On this day, the first champ. Oh no. Did I say
It's played in Montreal. It's not won by Montreal.
Damn it. The Stanley Cup was the creation of Sir Frederick Arthur Staley, Lord of Preston, at the 16th Earl of Derby. Who was the
actually, it looks like the Montreal team did win also.
Did I say Montreal? Or did I?
You said...
yeah, I said Montreal, didn't I? Or did I say Quebec?
Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver, you're
Yeah.
right. Son of a... Damn. Huh. So now we know. And I think that's good. That's all there is. Mm-hmm. That's all we need.
My guess was Detroit as well, actually, Randy.
All right, that's on this day. We'll come back to some of the other news of the day here momentarily. So yeah, I want to bring up the R word discussion. And where are you guys right now? Is that something that's in the category of, come on, you're trying to make everything politically correct, or is that I've dropped that from my vernacular, my vocabulary. And so let me pull up the post that I saw. And I only saw it this morning. I didn't see it yesterday when he actually posted it. But this is Drew Garabo here in the Bay Area. He posted on Twitter, "Happy World Down Syndrome Day to my little homie with an extra chromie."
Aww.
Isn't that awesome?
That's so cute.
That's what a perfect, I don't know. Because making any kind of jokes or anything, any kind of humor in this, you have to walk a very fine line. It can get offensive very quickly. Personally, to me, he nailed it. This was perfect.
This is a really cute post.
Happy World Down Syndrome Day to my little homie with an extra chromie, my nephew Will. He inspired me to take a stance against the R word. I hope you eliminate it from your vocabulary too.
Nice.
Yeah. When he first started on this, it's been a few years when I first heard him go down this path. I wasn't really with him because, like I said, I didn't associate the R word with, or retarded, with anybody with any kind of mental incapacities. Retarded was two things. One, the actual, to retard, something that is retarded means it hasn't fully developed. You've altered the way it was supposed to grow properly, to retard something. It was, you say that's retarded. I mean, that's silly, that's stupid, that's goofy. But I guess, for those, but I've listened to him, enough phone calls come into his show. I've read enough to know that those who care for those with Down syndrome and the other mental, I feel like I got to be careful. Do you call them disorders? Is this? I guess it's a syndrome, and other syndromes. Mm-hmm. It cuts them severely. Cuts their soul deep into their soul when they hear people just loosely toss that around. Hey, buddy, you know what I think it is? You know what I think it is, Sam? Is she over here? Is she over there being cute?
She's literally in the pillow.
That is so adorable. It's too bad.
Joey's trying to play with you though.
You know what it is? He's got to poop. That's what it is. I think anyway, because he's usually, this is what he gets your attention when he needs to go out like this. And normally when I get to bake more pies before we do the show, we make a big lap around the building and let them get some sniffies and get some sniffies out of the way. What dog stuff. And but it's funny because, well, I don't know if it's funny, but our building is right next to Bubba the Love Sponge's building. For those of you again in the Bay Area, I know in Orlando too that everybody knows who Bubba the Love Sponge is. So we do a lap and I know, and I think Bubba has Yorkies, at least one if not two. And I've always wanted just to walk next door and just knock on the door and just see if Bubba's there with his Yorkies and stop in. But I don't know why I haven't yet. I've been working next to them, doing this show next to them now since November, And
I never see people come out of that building though. I see cars there,
in.
but I never see anybody like in or out.
You only go in, you never come out.
Exactly.
From Randy, we used it for people who just did something stupid, but it was cruel to say to someone who is mentally challenged. Can't use the word anymore. At least I can't. But is flame retardant now to be flame challenged? All right, Randy. See, you had a good first point, then you had to rue it with
that's totally not the same thing.
flame challenged. Well done. So, so you said you've never really used that. Oh, you said you have your boyfriend has a family member?
His little sister.
His little sister. And you said
she's 10.
She's adorable.
Oh my God, she's adorable. She's so smart.
Were you using that word up until you started dating him and met her?
No. So I don't know. I've always not. It's like rubbed me the wrong way. Okay. But I never had like a personal connection to draw to. I just didn't. It just wasn't in my vocabulary. But she's honestly so sweet and like so smart, like smarter than me sometimes. Yeah. She's just, she's amazing. So yeah.
Well, yesterday was World Down Syndrome Day, and I want to play something for you guys here. And if it's a mother and her child has Downs, and they hit record. She hits record while they're driving as they're playing carpool karaoke. So let me play this. Let me pull this up for you. All right. Well, you're taking too long to get to the good part here. He says, "Come on." There we go.
Oh. Oh, they're so cute.
This is something, huh?
This is so sweet. He's got that blonde hair.
Yeah. So, now.
Oh, so cute.
Welcome back.
I know, how sweet.
Yeah. All right, so that was something I came across this morning when I was looking up more information on it.
What a nice video.
The funny thing was, because I was running so late, I didn't have a time to even preview it. So I was like, oh, okay, this looks cool. Just based on the headline, I was like, I'll bring that in. I'll pull that up. And for some reason, I thought it was just going to be one mom with her kid, but it was 40 moms and their kids. Also, some of the comments along the way that I saw was about how frustrating it can be for parents, once they run into somebody and they find out they have a Down syndrome kid, and how they react. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I guess it's pretty maddening. And they get pretty irate pretty quickly in those moments.
Yeah,
I know, buddy.
understandable.
Give me like 8 more minutes, okay? We're gonna go to 12:12, then I'll take you out. You can go poop. All right? I know that's what it. Now I'm riddled with anxiety. But
this is
what do we got here?
Here, that's Emma. This is little sister.
There you go. Let me use that one right there.
She's a cutie.
What's her name again?
Emma.
Aww.
She signs too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's
common?
a common. I guess so. I didn't know that actually, but she's not like she can talk. Like she actually is pretty developed and can very articulate. But at some point, just when she gets excited, it gets kind of jumbled. So she'll start signing. But that's like a very common thing for little kids anyway. So
yeah, I was reading that a lot of people are having they're teaching their kids to sign at an early length.
That's so cool.
Because, well, I guess it's easier for them to do that, and they can communicate quicker.
So cool.
And then I know friends later on in life that they took that and became proficient in college just so they could speak to each other in bars.
Oh my God!
Across the way,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, across the way, they could have conversations in loud places and not in across rooms and whatnot. Are you okay, buddy?
He is.
Can you hold
ready?
Can you hold on to that for a couple minutes? I'm sorry. He's like, listen, I was planning on it. I was. When I come here, I need to do that before. And you just brought me into the studio today, and there was some business
sitting right on your arm.
There was some business I needed to do. He's like a parrot. Bye, Sam.
Bye. I'm sure I'll see you in a few.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few. I want to blow through these. Not blow through these, but I want to get through them kind of quickly. There's only a few things that I brought up today, or brought up to talk about this morning, and I know, man. I couldn't help it. I was not expecting to. Well, I guess you guys know me well enough that it doesn't take a lot for me to start tearing up a little bit. I should have fired that up a long time ago. Now, let's go like this, and there we go. We'll do that. That's fine. I'll get it done. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. One of these days, I'll get it figured out. Figured out just right. All right, a couple of things I want to hit before get out of here today. And don't forget that I will be at Mastery's tonight and every Thursday night starting at 7 o'clock for a trivia night if you want to come out and have some fun. It's not hard. I mean, like it's one of those things where it's 5 questions per round. We do 10 rounds, 5 questions per round, so a total of 50 questions. But question number 1 is worth 1 point. Question number 5 is worth 5 points because question number 1 is really, really easy, and question number 5 is usually a little harder. So it is fun for the whole family. Come on out to Mastery's on Thursday nights, 7 o'clock, or Tuesday nights, Boulevard Burgers, 7 o'clock. Who wants a new SUV? I do. Speaking of which, I don't know how this has anything to do with anything, but you guys know anything about plasma televisions? So I have an LG 3D, right? It's 3D, 60-inch plasma that I got. Well, it was manufactured in August of 2012. I want to say I got it early 13, but it might have been 2012 that I got it. But anyway, I haven't ever had to replace the bulbs on it. Are there bulbs to replace? This is like, you're like, oh, Fish, man, you can Google this. I tried to Google this, and I'm confused. Here's my question. Can I replace the bulbs in the damn thing, or do I have to take it to somebody? Because I can't seem to get a clear answer from the internet. Like one thing I saw, it looked like you have to replace a board, some kind of a circuit board. Another thing I saw said that plasma TVs have like 3 lights in them that you have to replace. And I can't really tell. So we're scheduled, I think we're going to take the thing into a service, a shop on Saturday morning. But I'm going to be pissed if all I have to do is order some bulbs and, replace them. But I can't figure it out. So it's an LG television plasma 60-inch, manufactured in August of 2012. And it just went black. Now it's just a black mirror staring back at me. Now it's just a black mirror staring back at me. Oh, my wife called the TV repair. We can drop it off for an estimate tomorrow. This is where I hate being ignorant, because they can tell you whatever they want to tell you. Oh, yeah, it's this. It'll cost you $400. There's got to be a line, though. If it's going to cost more than X amount of dollars, then we probably don't get it fixed. Because I have a feeling we get a 60-inch television these days for under $1,000, a decent one for under $1,000. I could be wrong, and the 3D thing was cool, but I have not used it in a couple years, mainly because I got really messy and then put the 3D glasses away. That's what it was. When I started moving, I put the 3D glasses away, and I think I've only found one pair since. But it was cool there in the beginning. I remember the couple movies that I watched in 3D was pretty cool. One of them, of course, was Avatar. I'd pull out that one. All right. So who wants a new SUV? Yeah, me too. Well, here you go. Here's your new SUV, ladies and gentlemen. Knock yourselves out. How you feel about that bad boy right there? Looks like it should be roving Mars, or Batman should be driving it. How cool is that? So the reason I bring this up, it's the world's most expensive SUV. Goes on sale for 1.6 million. Is that pounds? Euros? The most expensive SUV in the world is up for sale, setting car lovers with big wallets back. A sweet 1.56 million something. Only 10 Karlmann, Karlmann Kings, Karlmann Kings will ever be built, according to its Chinese maker. And when looking at the outside, the black four-wheel drive seems to have come straight from a DC comic book. And while the vehicle's exterior does look like the Batmobile, on synthol injections, the inside offers a more slick appearance with luxury, a game console, and a champagne refrigerator. Look at this thing. Jeez. What the? So here's the interior of this bad boy. It looks like a spaceship. That is so cool. Many of the interior features are controlled via an app, including the seats, the air purifier, the flat screen TV, and the indoor neon lights. Well, of course you need... Oh, look at that picture. Welcome to the future. The future is when all of us have that. The maximum speed is 87 miles per hour. And the sharp angle exterior is made from carbon fiber and steel. Jeezums. It's got an espresso machine in it, too. There's another angle of the front of that thing. Is just... But what would you do with it? Like, let's say I hit one of those Powerballs. I've got $100 million. I've already, hooked up all my friends and family with their own little pieces of the pie, and I've got an extra $100 million laying around. I feel like you can only drive this. Well, I mean, you can do whatever you want. But I feel like it only belongs like in Miami or Beverly Hills. Like if you're driving around Beverly Hills or Miami and I see that, I'm like, it fits, because everything else around here is a minimum of $80,000 vehicle, minimum. So other than that, what the hell are you going to do with something like that? Oh, but it is so cool. I know what you're going to do with something like that. You're going to satiate some childhood fantasy of being Batman. Look at that. The car weighs over 4.5 tons. However, so that is a beast. The car is named after a 6th century king of a part of modern day France, Carloman, a younger brother of Charlemagne, the first Holy Roman Emperor. It is unclear why Carloman was chosen to give the name of the vehicle, as it appears to have a short and troublesome reign before dying of natural causes at the age of 20. Well, maybe that's what's going to happen with this vehicle too. It looks cool here in the beginning. It'll be dead before we know it. What else did I pull up? Because I have a feeling it's... damn it. I don't want to end on a low note here, so... All right, I brought up two stories because they're both suicide stories. Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks for bringing everything down. I know. I'm sorry. But I feel like these stories belong with all the other stories that are out there, not just of suicide, but then this mass violence. This story belongs side by side, and I'm not sure if I'm right about this. I'm not a mental health professional, but I feel like they belong side by side with because this is in Florida. This is a 12-year-old girl. Now the story is about the parents want to hold school officials responsible for her death because she was bullied and ultimately killed herself. 12 years old. All right. I didn't bring this up for the discussion of whether or not school officials are responsible for bullying, bullies and whatnot, and what they need to do and how do they need to handle it and all this other stuff. But there's a story that little 12-year-old girl, Panama City Beach, Florida, kills herself because of bullying. Then there's another story from the Northeast where a cabbie kills himself. This guy. All right. And he's a yellow cab driver. He hanged himself. And he blames Uber and Lyft. The fourth such suicide in the last 4 months. All right. So this guy, 65 years old. His world has changed like that. Boom. He went from driving a cab and knowing his routine every single day and how much money he was going to get approximately and can figure it out day in and day out. And all of a sudden, all that changed. He said, "I'm old, I'm tired, and I'm not going to make it." A fellow driver recalled from a conversation. He talked to me about it, his suicide, and said that's the way he's going to end. I told him to wait. It'll get better. And the reason that I brought up this guy, and I brought up the little 12-year-old, and I feel like it's part of the bigger discussion we're having right now, because this goes back to the mental health part of this. What's going on up here with everybody in America, everybody in the world. And I'm not saying everybody has mental health issues, but we all have some shit, as I like to say. We've all got shit. And some people's shit backs up. Oh, wait. Maybe I should change parallels while I'm still ahead. Everybody's mental I still probably should change the metaphor there. But in some people's heads, when it gets dark, right, they turn on themselves. The 12-year-old girl, she didn't turn outward and say you're the ones making me feel like this, and then make a bomb or procure a weapon and take out what was going on up here on her environment, on the people around her. Same with this gentleman. Even though he blamed Uber and Lyft, he obviously didn't up here. Like, and this is why I'm bringing it up, because I feel like these people are in the same category as Nicholas Cruz or the Las Vegas shooter, or all of them. And when they get to that place where they have to blow up the outside, it's like there's two kind of ways you break in your brain. You either blow up the outside world or you blow up the inside world. Some do both. Murder-suicide, right? So that's why as we're having discussions about Parkland and Austin, Texas, that bomber, and people who are exacting their, I don't know what you guys think about this, but I have a feeling that if you were to get in the side of the heads of these people, you would see when they're planning their mass shooting or thinking along those lines. To me, I think that's the brain or their brain trying to kind of force onto the rest of the world what's going on up here. Like if we got in their head, we'd be like, holy shit, no wonder this person lost their damn mind. If I saw the world the way they see the world too, I'd be ready to blow up the outside world. But then others, they don't focus outwards, they focus inwards. that's kind of when I end up, you know, kind of slipping down that slope, that's where I get, you know, when I get ugly, when it's not blow up the outside world, it's all, you know, focused on me. So that's why I think that all of this is tied together in some way. And some people take it out on others, and others just internalize it and take their own lives like this. So sorry I brought it down like that. Depression is so insidious, from Randy. It's there every day. We think things no one would think. Yeah, and it's hard, man. You know, you try to put different things in your head. You know, I think it was just yesterday, the day before, that all of a sudden I can feel myself, getting drugged down into that black hole, slipping over the event horizon, you know, or slipping closer to it. I shouldn't say over, because then there's no escape from it. So we'll say like you're feeling like you're getting dragged closer and closer to that event horizon. And I stop and go, what's going on? Why? There's no reason to have this anxiety. There's no reason to be feeling these things and be down on you the way you are right now. And so, you know, you start going through some tricks, you know, and start focusing on the positive things. For me personally, this is what I do. I start saying thank you. First and foremost, I start saying thank you as if I'm saying thank you to, you know, God or the universe, however you look at that, however I look at that, and start just looking around. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you. And that really does help. That really does help. You know, to kind of get that, I don't know, part of you that's getting depressed or whatever's happening in my brain, to just kind of, you know, switch gears or get into a different place. With that being said, also I've realized over the recent years that this is best dealt with the help of somebody else too. So finally, which is very difficult for me, and I would imagine for a lot of people too, finally made a phone call month ago, I think it was, or maybe just like 3 weeks ago, to get in and start talking to somebody. Of course, you know, you can't get in right away when you're like, hey, well, I'm desperate now. I need to get in there now. Get on the list. So it was pushed back 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. But even that helped, because you know that you feel like psychologically there's like an end in sight, or that there's a help right around the corner. When you finally just make the phone call to just go talk to somebody. And if you guys have never gone down that path, for those that feel like every now and again you're like, man, I just don't feel like myself, and I just don't like where my head is right now. For me, it's difficulty like getting up in the morning, getting out of bed. It's been like that for years. If the question is, well, who do you call? How do you know who to call? I wish I could help you out with that one. It is kind of a crapshoot, because not every psychologist, not every psychiatrist is, they're people. They're humans. And you have to look at it that way too. You can't go, oh, I'm now going to attach myself to this person and they're going to save me from everything. They're a tool. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I mean that in a positive way. They are a tool to help you understand yourself a little bit and to come up with little things to get you through here and there. Remind me later, please. So I just here's how I picked this last one, because I went through review after review after review after review after review, and I decided not to go with a psychiatrist but with a psychologist first. And if I have to go down that path, we'll kick that can down the road a little bit. But I'm gonna start with a psychologist, and see how that goes first. And whatever, just figure it out from there. I feel like there was one more thing I want to tell you about in that category, but I can't remember. So late night last night, karaoke, every Wednesday night, 8 to midnight, Park and Rec. Make sure you come out. And then lastly, this wasn't that big of a deal. I just thought it was kind of funny. Headbangers broke a photographer's toe at Janis live concert, and he's suing. You're right. It's not that big of a deal. It's not really stuff you should know. So that is that then. That is all I have for you today. I'm sorry. I shouldn't apologize. It was a late night last night, and it was rough getting up today. So I appreciate you guys being here. Randy, I understand. I try to do a good deed for someone. That helps out too. There's a few licensed psychiatrists. There are so few licensed psychiatrists in Florida. The issue I have with psychiatrists is, I don't have any it's not an issue with psychiatrists. The problem with mental health professionals in general is that you don't know. I have a theory that a lot of people that got into mental health as psychologists or psychiatrists, especially I don't know. They got into because of a curiosity and why they feel like they don't really connect with humans. They're trying to figure themselves out. And so that can be a good thing, because if you connect with, they're trying to deal with some of the same things that you are. You connect with that person, man, they can really, really help you out. But let's just say there is a percentage of doctors. I don't want to say they're psychopaths themselves. They lack a lot. They're very intelligent and lack a lot of empathy. So to me, that doesn't make for a good doctor. That doesn't make for a good mental health professional. That makes for somebody who can go listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, match them up with what they remember from school, on what drug, this is in that, because all you're doing, you're talking about symptoms, and then all of a sudden they go, okay, well, this is obviously another case of this, because 87% of the time, if you're talking about this, then it's going to be this, here, take these pills, next. And so maybe that's me. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's not true. Maybe that's just all up here. But be careful as you go down, when you're sitting down in front of somebody that is that smart. Remember, they still don't have all the answers. They're just a tool. They're a reference for you. And before you go on any medications, antidepressants, any anti-anxieties, bipolar medicine, any of that stuff, get a second opinion. Get a third opinion. Talk to multiple people about this stuff, because, listen, man, they're people. They're doctors. They're businessmen too. And they're not friends. They're not going to sit there and listen to you and then go home and then it's in their head and they're up all night trying to solve your problems. There's a process. There's protocol. You go through it, bam, 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 bam. Here's your pills next. Bam, 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 bam. A, B, C, D. Here's your pills next. A, B, C, D. Here's your pills next. So just keep that in mind. That doesn't mean that there aren't those out there who are apps. Okay, Randy says, not mine. He's great. If you want, then Randy, why don't you go ahead and, if you feel comfortable about it, why don't you post his? If only if you feel comfortable, post his name. For those who are looking for a great psychiatrist, I've known Randy for many, 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 many years. Good dude, smart guy. And so if he vouches for somebody like this, then I would definitely at least research if you have ever contemplated this. So, Sam, you're back. You just coming up here to hang out with the dogs, or
doing social?
You're doing social.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Fisher's talking about his mental health again. Tune in now. You don't never know when he's going to have a breakdown, and then we'll end the show with that. So yesterday we ended one of the approach to this show every day is to talk about the news and events of the day. Also bring in my personal stuff, not just because I want to talk about me. It's more because I don't want this. I want this to be a relationship. I know that sounds weird, but I don't want this to be commentator guy sitting here. Here's a news story. This is what makes me angry today. This is what's wrong with the world. This is what's wrong with America. So I want to get through the news and events of the day. So by the way, so not just sit here and it be a one-sided conversation where I'm sitting here telling you how the world is and how you should be living your life and how they're wrong. And that's why I want to bring in the personal aspect as well. And you bring in pictures of my dogs and bring in my dogs and whatnot. But yesterday, the show my emotions got away from me. And I want to be able to do this stuff without getting too worked up every day. That's what we talk about, right? I don't want to get too angry, and too depressed. But then I get to the story about Mark Zuckerberg, and we see that that there was a quote from him. Granted, he was 19, I think, at the time, 19 or 20, when he called all the people. And this is back when he was first testing this Facebook thing, and he had 4,000 people from Harvard on his new platform. And he's going back and forth with a friend via text message or email, and he calls them all dumb Fs, right? Dumb fucks. Because he goes, I have the data for 4,000 Harvard students. Phone numbers, emails, everything. I've got it all. They just gave it to me. Dumb fucks. And so that triggered me a little bit. Because what's the reality in that moment? Those are 4,000 Harvard students. Not 4,000 Hillsborough Community College students. I'm just kidding. 4,000 Harvard students. Far from dumb. Far from dumb. Yet you were able back then to suck that information out of every single one of them. Why? Because it goes to something that is more primal, more deep, and it doesn't matter your IQ. You're still going to get sucked into that world. So I got a little triggered yesterday, and I kind of went off and, getting a little pointed at old Zuckerberg. And then afterwards, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Teeing off, because, this is something he said when he was 19, 20 years old, just going back and forth. It's out of context. And I'm trying to, and then all of a sudden, I'm going to take that one little quote from this guy and throw it back into his face, and then mother F him, call him an F. For a few minutes. No, it's ridiculous. The guy was 19 years old. And in that moment, and who knows what was driving that little comment. Maybe he didn't, maybe like a lot of other people, he's sitting there working hard, diligently, trying to come up with, trying to get girls like everybody else. He's angry at everybody else. So he's like, oh, these dumb Fs gave me their whatever. And in the end, he didn't really truly mean these were all dumb Fs. But that's not even the point today. The point was I got way too worked up at the end of the show. And I don't like that. I don't want to. So I don't need to apologize for it. I just don't like that coming from me, and I will do better. I will try to do better every single day. All right, so Randy says that the doctor is Walter Griffith, if you guys are interested. Maybe that is somebody that I will call Randy here now. But I will the path that I want to go down right now is they want to start with a psychologist. Or do you say psychologist or psychologist? Psychologist. A cyclops. A psychologist. And then if I'm going to go down the medicine route, I want to start with medical marijuana first and see how that helps with anxiety and depression, and see if I'm taking the right dosage, if that takes care, if that helps, if he gets the job done. And then if that doesn't work, I guess I'll call your guy Dr. Griffith there. But I really don't. I feel like I don't want to go there. I don't even go there. Not yet. Not today. Only because it's just dark. It's bleak. All right, I'll tell you. I can't hold things in. I feel like if I get to that point, then man, I'm really in desperate times. So I hope not to get to that point. But maybe I'm wrong on that. He's in St. Pete. Let's see. No, go through therapy first before medication. No, go through. Yeah. So Rand, don't blame you, Randy. I know that's easier said than done. But he says go to therapy first before you start the medication thing, and that is good advice. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, everybody else, for being a part of the Wake.Show today. I really appreciate it. What's that? I would love a quote of the day. Sam, come on up, Sam. Sam's quote of the day. It's
relevant.
Oh, wait.
It's relevant.
We got a shot of the littles.
It's all right. I could do it.
All right. You got it, Sam.
The quote of the day is, with the new day comes new strength and new thoughts. With
the new day comes new strengths and new thoughts.
Pretty nice.
Who's the quote from?
It is from...
Chords?
Yeah, all right. Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt. All right. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Joey, Roxy. I'll take you out now so you can poop. And you guys can go poop now, too. Have a great day. I'll see you tonight out at Masteries if you're in the St. Pete side of things. Otherwise, I will talk to you tomorrow morning.